It's indeed true that the world we live in is full of wonders and beauty. Some may include the 7 wonders of the world, the Northern Lights, the Grand Canyon, the majestic Niagara Falls, and many more. However, many such creations on this planet are unexplainable. Despite having ChatGPT-5, the El Capitan supercomputer, and a basic understanding of time and space, there are still some landmarks that we simply can't explain. It's not because we're not genius enough to figure them out, but it's just that there are some things in this world that go beyond our comprehension. So, let's take a look at 15 mysterious landmarks that might be more than just places. Number 15. Easter Island, Chile. Nothing says, "What the heck happened here?" Quite like 80-ton stone heads scattered across a tiny island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And the weirdest part? The island had no trees by the time Europeans arrived, yet these Moai statues were somehow moved miles from the quarry where they were carved. The leading theory? They were rolled on logs, but that falls apart when you remember there were no trees left. So did the islanders cut down their entire forest just to transport statues? If so, that'd explain why their civilization collapsed. Or maybe they had another method, one that's been lost to history. And then there's the mass toppling. Nearly every Moai was found face down, likely knocked over in tribal conflicts. But what made the Rapa Nui people turn on their ancestors? A desperate struggle for resources? Or something else entirely? Number 14. The Alaska Triangle, Alaska's Bermuda Triangle. Alaska is already one of the most dangerous places on Earth. Freezing temperatures, unforgiving terrain, and more bears than people. But the Alaska Triangle? That's on a whole different level. Stretching from Juneau to Anchorage to Barrow, this region has an insane number of disappearances. Twice the national average, to be exact. Planes, boats, entire groups of hikers, gone without a trace. Some blame the brutal weather, others talk about electromagnetic anomalies, and then there are the more chilling theories. The Tlingit people speak of Kushtaka, a shape-shifting land otter that mimics a child's cries to lure victims away. Others swear it's Bigfoot territory, and some believe this is another vile vortex, like the Bermuda Triangle, where weird energy messes with navigation and reality itself. Whatever it is, one thing's certain. People go missing here, and they don't come back. Number 13. Temple of Jupiter, Lebanon. At first glance, the Temple of Jupiter in Lebanon looks like your standard ancient ruin. Columns, crumbling walls, the usual. But then you notice the foundation stones, and that's when things stop making sense. Each one weighs over 1,000 tons, some of the heaviest stones ever used in construction. Even today, moving them would require multiple industrial cranes. So how did ancient builders, without modern machinery, transport and position them perfectly? Some say earthen ramps and pulleys, but that theory falls apart when you consider the sheer size of these blocks. Others claim it was a lost Roman engineering trick, but even they never wrote down how they pulled this off. Then there's the more extreme camp. Those who believe this site predates the Romans entirely and was built using technology we don't understand. Whatever the truth is, one thing's pretty clear. Someone, thousands of years ago, knew something good we don't. Number 12. Nazca Lines, Peru. Now, here are 2 questions that will keep you up at night. Why would an ancient civilization carve massive designs into the ground that can only be seen from the sky? And more notably, how did they do it with nothing but primitive tools and some good old-fashioned patience? The Nazca Lines, some stretching over 200 meters, are scattered across the Peruvian desert like a huge prehistoric doodle. They depict monkeys, sharks, hummingbirds, and geometric patterns so precise that even modern surveyors would break a sweat replicating them. But why? Some say they were offerings to the gods. Others believe they were astronomical maps. And of course, there's always the aliens needed a landing strip crowd. Wooden stakes found nearby suggest the Nazca people actually mapped these designs from the ground, proving they didn't need a bird's-eye view. But that still leaves us with the biggest mystery. What were they trying to say? Because whatever message they left, it's been sitting out there for over 1,000 years, still waiting for a reply. Number 11. Palenque, Mexico. If you've ever seen an ancient city swallowed by the jungle, you know it either holds a lost civilization or a secret treasure map. Palenque, one of the Maya's greatest cities, falls into the first category. Though let's be honest, a treasure map wouldn't surprise anyone at this point. Located deep in Chiapas, Mexico, Palenque was once a thriving powerhouse filled with massive stone temples, mind-blowing astronomy, and a writing system that makes hieroglyphs look like kindergarten scribbles. The Maya weren't just good architects. They were obsessed with time, the stars, and something big enough to make them abandon everything centuries before the Spanish arrived. No mass graves, no signs of a brutal war, just emptiness. Some say a mega drought forced them out, others think they collapsed under their own ambition, and then there's the wild card theory. They left on purpose. But where and why? Well, basically, no one knows. Number 10. Teotihuacan, Mexico. Teotihuacan is one of the most mysterious ancient cities in the world. The Aztecs discovered it in the 1400s, already abandoned for centuries, and gave it the name City of the Gods. But who built it? That remains a mystery. Archaeological evidence suggests construction started around 400 BCE, and by 300 CE, it had become a massive cultural and economic hub. This city was home to pyramids, temples, and grand avenues with signs of both trade and human sacrifice, but we know almost nothing about its people, language, or rulers. Theories suggest it was governed by a theocratic elite, possibly a mix of different Mesoamerican cultures. Yet, around 550 CE, something triggered its collapse. Whether it was war, rebellion, or environmental disaster is still debated. Despite being one of the largest cities in the ancient world, Teotihuacan vanished into history, leaving behind only its awe-inspiring ruins and far more questions than answers. Number 9. Hagar Kim, Malta. Perched on a cliffside overlooking the Mediterranean, Hagar Kim is one of the world's oldest known temples, dating back to 3,500 to 2,900 BCE, older than the pyramids. Its name means standing stones, which is fitting since its largest blocks weigh over 20 tons. How prehistoric builders moved them, that's anyone's guess. Even stranger, parts of the temple align perfectly with the summer solstice, leading some to believe it was an early astronomical observatory. But here's the real kicker. There's little evidence of a population advanced enough to build it. No records, no written language, just massive limestone slabs placed with precision that shouldn't have been possible at the time. Were they guided by something? Did they develop techniques lost to history? Or are we underestimating the knowledge of ancient civilizations? Whatever the answer, Hagar Kim remains one of the greatest prehistoric enigmas of the Mediterranean. Number 8. Carnac, France. Thousands of prehistoric standing stones stretch across 3 miles in Carnac, France, forming the largest collection of menhirs in the world. Some tower over 4 meters tall, carefully arranged in rows that shrink in height as they extend eastward. But why? No one knows. These stones date back to 4,500 BCE, but their purpose is a complete mystery. Some believe they were markers for astronomical events. Others think they were part of a massive religious complex. And of course, there's the wild theory that they were left behind by ancient giants. Because why not? Unlike Stonehenge, these stones aren't arranged in circles, making their intent even more confusing. Were they an ancient counting system? A map? A way to honor the dead? Despite centuries of research, we still don't have a solid answer. Whatever the case, The Karnak stones stand as a silent riddle from deep history, refusing to give up their secrets. Now let's move to number 7. Göbekli Tepe, Turkey. Built over 11,000 years ago, Göbekli Tepe predates Stonehenge by 6,000 years and has completely upended what we thought we knew about human history. Found in southeastern Turkey, this sprawling site features massive stone pillars, some 5 meters tall and weighing up to 10 tons, arranged in mysterious circular formations. The real shocker? This site was built before humans even invented agriculture. Traditional history tells us civilization began after farming, but Göbekli Tepe suggests otherwise. So who built it, and why? Well, some think it was a temple for rituals, others argue it was a social or gathering site, but there's no evidence of permanent settlement nearby. Even stranger, the site was deliberately buried around 8000 BCE, as if someone wanted to hide it from history. Only a fraction has been excavated, and experts say it could take another 50 years to fully uncover its secrets. Well, don't know if we will be there or not. Number 6. Submerged Wonders of Alexandria, Egypt. Beneath the waves off the coast of Alexandria, Egypt, lies a lost world of ancient ruins, believed to be the royal quarters of Cleopatra herself. Over 1,500 years ago, earthquakes and rising waters swallowed palaces, temples, and statues, leaving behind an underwater time capsule that archaeologists are still uncovering. Among the discoveries are massive sphinxes, columns, and stone blocks believed to be remnants of Cleopatra's palace. The real mind-blower? The city of Alexandria is considering turning it into an underwater museum, where visitors could literally swim through ancient history. Was this sunken city a casualty of nature, or was there something more behind its disappearance? Well, we don't know, but if found out, then please let us know. Number 5. San Luis Valley, Colorado. Stretching across 8,000 square miles of Colorado and New Mexico, the San Luis Valley is one of the most bizarre and paranormally active places in the United States. This remote region is infamous for UFO sightings, unexplained lights, and mutilated animals found with surgical-like precision. Yet mysteriously, no blood or tracks nearby. One of the biggest believers is Judy Messeline, who has been documenting sightings for over 2 decades. Since 2000, she claims to have seen more than 50 UFOs in the valley. And she's not alone. Locals, ranchers, and even law enforcement have reported glowing orbs, strange crafts, and eerie sounds. Is it aliens? Secret military experiments? A natural phenomenon we don't understand? No one has definitive answers, but the San Luis Valley remains a place where reality bends and things happen that defy logic. Number 4. Fairy circles, Namibia. Every desert has its quirks, but the Namib Desert in southern Africa takes it to another level. Scattered across the landscape are thousands of barren circles, surrounded by grass like a cosmic game of polka dots. They're called fairy circles, but unlike crop circles, these aren't made by pranksters with too much time on their hands. For generations, locals have credited gods, spirits, and even dragons. Scientists, on the other hand, have suggested everything from underground termite colonies to plants engaging in a silent battle for water. But none of these explanations fully hold up. The circles appear, disappear, and even shift over time, almost like they have a mind of their own. Despite decades of research, no one can fully explain why they exist. Natural phenomenon? A bizarre survival strategy? Something stranger? Until science figures it out, the Namib Desert will keep its silent circular secret. But you can try if you want. Number 3. Georgia Guidestones, USA. Some ancient mysteries are thousands of years old, but this one? It was built in 1980 and still manages to be one of the most cryptic sites in America. In Elbert County, Georgia, a set of 6 granite slabs stand tall, with 10 commandments for humanity carved in 8 different languages. But these aren't your usual religious laws. They sound more like rules for a post-apocalyptic world. No one knows who funded or commissioned the structure. The project was arranged by a mysterious man using the alias R.C. Christian, who vanished after construction was complete. Some believe the guide stones were built by a secret society. Others think they're a warning of some impending disaster. Conspiracy theories run wild, from New World Order plots to ancient prophecies. Regardless of what they mean, one thing is clear: the Georgia guide stones weren't built for our present, but for whoever comes after. Number 2. Nan Madol, Micronesia. Off the coast of Pohnpei, an island in Micronesia, lies a sunken city straight out of a legend. Nan Madol is an ancient stone metropolis built atop a coral reef, connected by a maze of canals, earning it the nickname the Venice of the Pacific. The biggest mystery? The stone blocks that make up Nan Madol are so massive, some weighing up to 50 tons, that no one knows how they were transported to this remote island. No wheels, no pulleys, no cranes, just sheer determination, or something else entirely. Local legends speak of a vanished race, black magic, and even connections to lost continents. Some historians think it was built as a royal and religious center, meant to separate the island's elites from the commoners. But even with modern technology, we still can't fully explain how it was built or why it was abandoned. Number 1. Olmec Colossal Heads, Mexico. Before the Maya and the Aztecs, there was the Olmec civilization, and their most baffling legacy is a set of colossal basalt heads, each carved from a single massive boulder. These heads, found across Mexico and Guatemala, aren't just big, they're lifelike, distinct, and unmistakably individual. The smallest weighs 6 tons, while the largest, an unfinished one, would have topped 50 tons. But how did the Olmecs move these boulders, considering some were transported over 50 miles? No one knows for sure. Adding to the mystery, each head has unique facial features, leading many to believe they represent real rulers or warriors. The Olmecs, one of Mesoamerica's oldest civilizations, mysteriously declined around 400 BCE, leaving behind no written history, only these massive stone faces staring silently through time. If you have enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.